Let's rock and roll. Excuse me. Welcome to the Power Within family. This call is geared to help people understand really what Q just said. God's plan over my life versus mine, and truly understanding the power within and believing that you truly have it. I think a lot of times we hear these things, but do we truly believe that we possess it? Do we believe that we have the possession of it? And that's the key tonight. But I want to come to make sure, I know we spoke on a team call for Generational Wealth about having a clean slate, but I want to kind of bring it back around to where we all make sure that we are not dealing with mental blocks on tonight. I want to talk about mental blocks because mental blocks, and then what Mr. Sattler said about vision, because if you really don't know where to start, then you won't be moving forward, right? And a lot of times the solution lies within the problem. Okay. The solution lies within the problem, and the answer is in every question. I put a post up the other day about problems aren't the issue in the world. It's lack of ideas. Okay. Problems are not issues. It's lack of ideas. And if you're presented with a difficult situation, guys, and you can't see your way clearly, always understand is if you don't know the solution yourself, look with the power within. Sit in silence. Take a break from everybody, from social media, from work, and just sit still. Somebody dropped the word still in the chat box. Just sit still, right? Just sit still and allow your mind, get all those thoughts out of your mind, get all of the whatever's heavy on your heart, whatever's heavy on your mind, just sit still. And sometimes you may have to take pen to paper and just start vomiting on the paper. When I say vomiting, that means just get it all out of your system. No neat way of writing, just sit still, sit quiet. And sometimes just communicating those thoughts to paper, giving yourself a vision, but also removing what's blocking you, right? And what you guys want to understand is once I can get in touch with that power within, once I can communicate with God, the infinite intelligence, guys, then you'll be able to have those solutions to come about and give you the right answer. So the first thing you have to identify is understand that we are all creatures of habit. All right. We're all creatures of habit. And a habit is anybody know how to drive a car? Yes or no in the chat box? Know how to drive a car, or just write it, just drop it in the chat. Y'all know how to drive a car, drop car. If you know how to ride a bike, drop bike. If you know how to, swim, drop swim, shoot a basketball. What's something that you guys can do without thinking? Throw a football, swim, hike. What are those things that Kim says she can't swim? Okay, she says she can eat. All right. So understand car, bike, swim, hike, ski. Okay, David, I see you. Skiing is not one of the things I've done yet. I'm skiing next year in January, actually. Understand. So all of those are habits, right? We got that down packed, sports and fitness. Okay. So those are things that initially started as a conscious behavior. So when we first learned to ride the bike or drive the car, we were like, ooh, I got to figure this thing out. We were taking those thoughts and really being intentional. We're really concentrating, right? So the conscious mind really takes concentration. Okay. But guess what doesn't take concentration? The unconscious mind. So the fact that y'all, some of y'all can multitask while y'all drive, even though we shouldn't. A lot of people can drive without thinking, or what we call a second nature. A lot of people can just ride their bikes. You guys are swimming. You're doing so many different things that no longer require concentration. You just know how to do it, right? So it's yes or no. Y'all know how to just do that. It's second nature too. You probably hadn't rode a bike all year, but the minute you get on the bike, you might be a little rusty, but you know how to just get into momentum, right? Because now it's second nature, right? It's a part of something that you do without thinking. Yes or no in the chat box, right? And so understand your subconscious mind. Okay, good. That reaction, guys, is your subconscious mind to your thinking and acting. So whatever we have to put concentration to, whatever we got to think about, that is the conscious mind. If you want to teach me how to ski, David, it's going to take concentration for me. It's going to take me trying to really focus on this to really figure it out. There you go. Unconscious and competence, right? So, but what happens is once I've done it a lot of times, once we do this training, David takes me to some skiing lessons. He's showing me what to do. And then the next thing I know is that three weeks go by, and now I'm starting to do it on my own. I'm starting to go from being dependent on him to being independent, right? But understand, guys, you have the choice you have the ability to choose whether you want to develop good habits or bad habits. Okay. It is at the end of the day, you have the choice to choose. Do I want to develop a good habit or a bad habit? Understand they both require the same methodology of repetition. Okay. They both require repetition over a period of time. And understand you will be under the compulsion of habit. Okay. Now, compulsion, when it goes from conscious to subconscious, right? And they both are hard to break. Guess what happens after you do it enough? It now becomes an irresistible behavior. Ooh, I like this. I hope y'all with me. When you do something long enough, like me sending signals, I was sending signals since 20. I still wake up at 9 o'clock in anticipation to send a signal. It's still irresistible. My body, if I'm up all night, I'm still up at 9 o'clock getting ready to send a signal, because in the past, 3 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, technically I'm not supposed to send signals, right? But it's still an irresistible behavior that is still in me because I did it for so long. Are y'all following me? Right? So understand, once it goes from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind, it is now compulsion. But compulsion means irresistible, impulsive, right? And it's something you do without thinking. So we have to make a decision on today. What habits do we need in our life for us to get what we want? And I want you guys to ask yourself a question. I wrote this down. What do you expect to happen in your life? That's my question for you on tonight. And I hope you ask yourself that frequently, because sometimes your expectation is going to change. Sarah said it's okay if I still send that signal. I might do that. Tara might do that. I might just call it a demo trade, right? And then everybody get the hint, all right? Demo trade alert. So what do you expect to happen in your life? Okay. That's the question on tonight. I don't want you to think about this company. I don't want you to think about none of your businesses. I want you to first start with you, your health, your finance, right? Get us in the habit to receive it. There you go. I want you to understand who you are first and what are you expecting to happen in your life. And if you don't know what you're expecting, a lot of times it's either lack of vision. They said it, vision, right? Not cooperating with God, allowing him to work through your life. Or maybe you just feeling lost and confused and don't know where you want to go, but you got to sit what? Y'all remember what I said earlier? You got to sit still. Okay. So what if I know what I expect, because this goes back to Zig Ziglar's success formula, is my favorite thing in the world. I use it for everything, every day, all the time. Okay. I use these 6 points every single time I have a goal. Okay. But I don't want to go into those 6 points. It's very, very simple. But understand, those 6 points always ask me, what is the plan of action? And that plan of action is always going to require a habit. If the Bible says faith in works, I spoke about that about 3 weeks ago, that faith is not activated until you have taken action. So a lot of you guys maybe say, I have the faith, but your faith is inactive until you take action. Please be mindful of that. I'm not telling you, that's what scripture says. That's in James. Your faith is inactive until you take action. So my question for you on tonight is, what do you expect? And what habits do we need to go from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind? It didn't say you're going to like all your habits, y'all. Some people don't like cleaning their room. Some people don't like making their bed when they wake up in the morning. Some people don't enjoy just the smallest things that will make a complete change in their life, right? So what is it that you don't enjoy doing, but you need it to go from here to the subconscious mind? Somebody drop that in the chat box, because I know y'all know something. What is something you don't enjoy doing, but you know for a fact if you did it every day, it will take your life to the next level? Somebody be honest with me on tonight and tell me what that is. Maybe it's apologizing to somebody, losing weight, a better diet, sharing a plan or something, right? Studying every day, diving into the academy, communicating with your spouse. What is I hope you enjoy communicating with your spouse, but what is something you know that you should be doing, but it just seems like an effort, right? It's like, you just kind of grunt, like, Sometimes it's going to the gym, all right? What is something you're doing that makes you feel like it's effort. You're like, oh, I don't really feel like doing that, right? Somebody said prospecting, presenting, promoting, watching my mouth because my words are powerful. Somebody said cleaning. It may be getting up earlier. What is something you know you should do, but you don't feel like doing it? Getting up earlier, right? Less TV, right? Listen more. All of those, family, studying the Bible and not just reading, right? So we know that all of these things will take us to a new level. So what if we became really conscious of knowing, okay, I may not like doing this, but if I do it long enough, I don't have to think about it no more one day. Y'all ever think about that? I don't really enjoy doing this. For instance, I don't really want to work out 30 minutes a day, but since I don't enjoy it, but I know if I do it long enough, it will become a irresistible habit. If I do it long enough, it will become an irresistible habit, which means it's compulsion, which means it's a part of my second nature. This is a better way to put it. What things don't we enjoy doing? What things don't we enjoy doing? Drinking my protein shakes that we need to become second nature. Irresistible habits. That's what you want to write on that paper. What do I expect to happen in my life? And then I need to write down, what are the things that I don't feel like doing, but I want them to become irresistible habits. But I have the conscious awareness knowing if I do them long enough, I don't have to think about them no more, because whatever you do subconsciously, family, it's no longer a part of your thinking pattern. It has gone into a different dimension, right? It's now second nature, right? The next question is, you have to understand, getting my 10,000 steps in, all right? Getting my 10,000 steps in at least 4 to 5 times a week. Now, the good thing about all of these thoughts is, what is the reward? What is the end goal? So, Terry, that's what I'm doing right now. I do 10,000 or 2 miles a day, right? But what makes me so excited to complete it is I keep the end in mind. I keep the end in mind. I say, B, if we don't do it, we're going to keep looking like this. If we do it, this is where we're eventually going to go. Right? And don't overexert yourself. Don't wear yourself out. Right? Do a steady plan. Steady. Meal prep. Keep it consistent. But understand this, guys. You cannot convince yourself that you are hopeless and powerless, right? Because you have repeated failures. Okay? I'm going to say it again. You cannot convince yourself. Your thoughts cannot communicate with you that you're hopeless, that you're powerless because of repeated failures. Maybe you tried to do the steps today and didn't fully do all 10,000. Maybe you only did 4,000 today, but that's not failure because you didn't quit. We have to make sure, I said this a long time ago, failure is a very positive attribute in your life. It's very positive because through failures, I learned to course correct. Through failures, I learned to make correction. Through failures, I get to measure where I'm going, because initially I didn't do 4,000 steps, Terry. I only did 500, but I didn't make the 10, but that doesn't mean I failed today. Do y'all get me? See, 10 is the goal, Terry. 10,000 steps is the goal. But pursuing the goal doesn't mean failure. We can't jump from 0 to 10 overnight. There's a gradual process that has to take place. You have to harmonize your conscious and your subconscious thoughts together so that they can cooperate and give you the desired outcome, right? Understand those old habits. They're going to fade away if we make a conscious decision, right? The bad ones, the ones that are not going to be profitable for the future, okay? But if we make a conscious effort and speak to ourselves, I am so happy and grateful now that this habit, this irresistible habit that I am developing, right, is going to bring about freedom, peace of mind, wealth, abundance. We got to stop talking ourselves out of those things that we need, right? A lot of us have automatic destructive habits. We do. That's either watching too much television. That's how we speak to people. That's how we speak to ourselves. And a destructive habit is also inaction, procrastination, right? Laziness, not making a plan of action for tomorrow. What's your schedule for tomorrow? Some of y'all just wake up and wing it, right? That's a destructive habit because you didn't plan for success. Not planning is planning for failure, planning to quit. because failure is going to it. And enough failures, I believe, will get a person to the next level if they have the right perspective. But enough inaction will lead somebody to quitting. Enough procrastination will lead to somebody to quitting. So what am I expecting? Right? You got to go to bed tonight with that calendar book. My calendar book is over there. And I look at it. I say, okay, what am I doing at 6:55 a.m., 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8? Now, what if I sleep past that time? It's okay. I made an attempt. I set the alarm. But if I make enough attempts, just like when I'm playing football, this is 4-1. I made an attempt to secure the goal. Maybe the defensive line was too big. The defensive line is my thoughts, family. So the defensive line won this time, but doesn't mean I'm not going to play the next season. Are y'all with me? Right? Every time I got to the 4-1, I didn't score the touchdown. But that doesn't mean I'm going to quit the game. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit this season out. I'm going to show up at the next season. Right? So understand, you keep showing up, you keep playing that game. You come to that free throw line and you shoot that shot. Maybe you missed those 2 free shots. Guess what? We're not quitting the game, Jessica. Just because you missed your attempt doesn't mean you missed the outcome. Put that on a quote. Just because you missed the attempt doesn't mean you missed the outcome. You make enough attempts, family. You make enough failures. You shoot enough shots. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to finally what? Reach the outcome. Do y'all understand me on tonight? Yes or no in the chat box? Y'all with me? Right? And then what's going to happen if I shot enough shots? It now becomes from conscious behavior to subconscious behavior. So when I'm sitting there, I'm shooting my shots. When I'm attempting this success, when I'm attempting to wake up earlier, when I'm attempting to save more money, when I'm reading more books, listening to more audios, being more present in my family's life, those attempts will eventually evolve to rewards. But the worst thing is not to make an attempt at all, ladies and gentlemen. You have to cease thinking of the fact that you are powerless to overcome the habit. We are not powerless. If anything, we're the complete opposite. Understand that there is no obstacle. Please catch this. There is no obstacle to your healing. Y'all ready? There is no obstacle. There is nothing in your way to your own healing except for your own thoughts. Okay? So whatever you want to conquer, whatever you want to accomplish, the only healing, the only way that you will seek to reap that reward, to reach the finish line, is watching how you speak and how you think. I'm going to say it again. There are no obstacles in your way, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing is hindering you. I don't care about your job, your bank account on today, your transportation system. I don't care about the relationships, the people who've hurt you, the toxic situations you may have been in, the workload that you have. None of those are obstacles. It's only your thought that will be the obstacle. Isn't that beautiful? To know that anything on the external planes, anything that I see with my eyes are not an obstacle. Anything that I'm physically in dealing with is not an obstacle. It is my spiritual warfare. It is what I am saying to myself. It is my thoughts that will determine if I can exit or if I'm going to stay present. I tell people all the time, you deserve what you tolerate. You deserve what you tolerate. And sometimes we tolerate those bad habits, but we complain about the consequences of those habits, right? You got to make sure that you're thinking about what are you expecting? What am I expecting to happen in my life? What do y'all expect to happen in your life? Who are you in the next 5 years? Let me tell y'all who I expect. B. Burrell is a decamillionaire minimum, right? Best shape of my life. I have accumulated so much wealth. People don't even know. Well, they probably know, but I have accumulated so much wealth. I am so proud of myself. I'm going to tell y'all a story. My grandmother's 3-year anniversary. She passed away 3 years ago, 10/18/18. I kissed her forehead. It was a fall day. It was clear skies. And I was sitting on the little couch right across from her bed when she took her last breath. I got up, I kissed her forehead. That story then was, I was a Platinum 1000 or P600 something at IM Master Academy. I had retired my job that year. I was still trying to find my way into this new life of entrepreneurship. I saw her yesterday, went down there yesterday, and I said, Grandma, I'm going to tell you what's been going on. I speak to her all the time. She always visits me in my dreams. I always speak to her spiritually. But when I go to that gravesite, it just feels different. You know what I'm saying? It just, that physical presence always, it just feels like a physical presence, right? So I'm speaking. Let me tell you what's been going on with everybody, how I'm doing. And I said, Grandma, I'm so happy. I've accumulated over 5 figures of net worth right now. I'm super grateful that I've lost 4 pounds. My credit score is about to smack over 700. I'm saying so many things. And you know what came to mind? I said, but let me tell you what I expect to happen in the next 12 months. Because I wasn't going to come back here and say the same story. I wasn't going to do that. Granted, yeah, I speak and I pray all the time. But I now have developed, I got a routine now. Every time I go down on 10/18 of every year, I am going to communicate a new story. This is the beauty. My mama is still alive and well. I am not only going to communicate that to my grandmother, but those who I hold dearly to my heart on their birthdays. I'm going to make it a habit. Let me tell you, let me hear what's going on in your life, because I want to hold you accountable for what you're about to achieve in the next 12 months. See, you got to set a goal, family. And I made a goal to cease the thinking of powerless thinking, hopeless thinking, to overcome all these bad habits. And I understood that nothing is standing in my way except for my own thoughts. So now conquering that and having complete awareness and complete faith in God and knowing that He is literally lighting the whole path, I know I got a new story in the next 12 months. If you got a new story in the next 12 months, I want y'all to drop some 8s in the chat box. If you have a new story in the next 12 months, right? Economically speaking, your education, your knowledge, your self-love, your self-esteem, your self-respect, your relationships, every single thing, every area in your life should have a new story. It shouldn't take for you to go have to speak to somebody in the ground for you to feel like it's time for you to have a new story, because they're still watching over. So I don't expect her to know that 12 months later, she's watching over me. So my grandma made a Facebook post a couple of years ago and said I was her guardian angel. And I said, Grandma, thank you for now being mine. So guess what's also happening? She's witnessing the process of what I spoke. I made a video and I favored it because I'm going to look back at it 12 months from now. And I'm going to say, man, I remember what I said that day. It's such an amazing feeling, right? You have to fill your mind with the desired end. What are you expecting, ladies and gentlemen? Stop just waking up and going to work and then calling it quits. You leverage that job to build your wealth. You be grateful for what you have. Do you know how many people are on the street or are homeless? I go play the drums 2 services every Sunday, and there's always somebody homeless on us at the street light between these two. I play at 2 churches on Sundays, and there's always a homeless person in the same light every single Sunday. And I said, man, you know what? I cannot wait to start my homeless rehabilitation program, because a lot of it's going to be a lot of mental transformation. But I think about that because sometimes it takes us to get into a crisis before we ask for help and before we start to really have a vision. It takes for us to actually have sight today, but still live with no vision, but get inside of a crisis to finally feel like, okay, let me actually go live my life, right? You have to understand, living with the end in mind is going to be the easiest way for you to really conquer every single thing that you want in your life. You got to imagine your freedom. You got to imagine when I dropped them 4 pounds the other day, last week, I felt so good. I celebrated every pound. I'm not going to look at it until this Friday. We'll see how much weight I dropped again on Friday. But you have to understand, you got to celebrate. But guess what, Terry? The goal is 25 pounds. The habit is meal planning, calorie deficit, and 30 minutes a day of exercise. That's the habit. The habit is not the goal. I want to make sure y'all understand that. A lot of people deal with mental blocks. What should I do next? What's my next move? Because they're so focused on the end that the end created paralysis. It says keep the end in mind. But what? Make a plan. Keep the end in mind, but make a plan of action. Don't allow the goal to create paralysis. All right. Anybody ever been there before? You like, man, I really want to compound my account or read this new book or hit platinum 2000, but you never spoke about reading one paragraph today. Okay. You never talked about, let me just read a paragraph a day, right? Our goal could be to complete this book. I got a stack of books. Maybe your goal is to complete this book. That's the goal. But the habit is what? Let me open the book after I read and pray in the morning, and I'm going to read one paragraph today. You don't have to go do 10 pages, okay? You ain't got to do all that. Just one paragraph, okay? And then you do one paragraph tomorrow, and then maybe 3 weeks later, you can begin to finish a whole page. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes or no in the chat box. This is creating a new habit. The small habits are going to break the bad ones. The small good ones are going to accumulate. It's going to be a snowball. When you throw a snowball, or a snowball is rolling up, it has to accumulate more snow for it to get bigger. But it's smaller sizes of snow over time that makes the ball get bigger. So then you can begin to stack on more better habits, but you got to identify what's causing your mental block. Sit still, sit quiet, trust infinite intelligence. But ultimately, what is the end in mind? And family, you got to begin to develop those new habits. What do we say? Irresistible habits, compulsion. What am I not doing, but I need to do? And so that thing can become an irresistible habit. Okay. So please, regularly, systematically, you sit down somewhere, you meditate, you look at your outline, you look at your game plan. Sometimes your game plan has to change. Guys, I just studied social media last week. Guess what? I got to study it again, because guess what? My vision got bigger. I literally thought I was ready. I'm about to, nope. I got to change up what I thought I was about to implement, because my vision changed just within 7 days. So I'm taking this whole week to study a whole new level of thinking, a whole new level of exposure, a whole new level of identity, because my vision got bigger just 7 days. Imagine if your vision can grow big like that soon, right? You got to stay on top of your thoughts. You got to stay plugged in. Systematically, regularly, consistently, focus your attention on your outline, your game plan, the mental picture, but do not allow visioneering to make you lazy. Okay? What are you saying, B? When you're meditating or you're sitting there, painting the picture, when I ask you, who are you expecting to become? What do you expect to happen in your life? I want you to really think about it. I want you to close your eyes and really think about that thing. I want you to hear the birds chirping in the background. And I want you to really just meditate on that. What do I want? What do I expect? And maybe you don't even know what you expect. Maybe you don't know. But you start doing at least the right behaviors. It'll get you that exposure there, right? You got to recondition your mind. And that reconditioning is going to take place through a gradual process. All right? You got to keep it up. And sooner or later, your new habit pattern will now become subconscious, just like you riding that bike, just like you knowing how to swim. The things you don't want to do have to start becoming subconscious habits, compulsion, irresistible habits, right? Develop it in your mind. You stick to it, and always revisit your plan. I kind of look at my plan like every 30 days. I can't really look at my plans in 90-day increments no more, because I get things done kind of faster now, right? So 30 to 90 days, always analyze your plan, make updates. And you may take these steps, and those steps may not be the right ones you need to take, but at least you executed them to find out you got a course correct. Please understand, when you're following your plan of action, it doesn't necessarily always mean that it is the right plan, but at least you made it. You wrote the vision, you made it plain, and you put it on paper, and you started to follow those habits. And guess what? You had a bump in the road, and it made you realize, okay, let me erase this particular bullet point. I realized that ain't the one I need. You got to make sure that you're okay erasing the wrong behavior, the wrong plan. Because if you make adjustments long enough, family, you're going to write the right plan, and you're going to stick to it, and your vision is going to come to life. You're going to become successful because you're going to develop confidence, And you're going to make sure you keep that expected experience at the top of your mind. Because at the end of the day, when you expect those experiences to continually happen in your life, guys, you're going to really start living it. It's no longer going to be that vision in the spiritual realm. It's going to come down from the spirit down to the physical. You got to continuously build up that belief in your mind, right? And be able to cancel out the negative thoughts. Terry, I don't feel like going to work out today. Cancel it. Nope, I am great. I am sexy. I look good. I feel my best. When y'all don't want to eat right, when you don't want to, whatever you need to be doing. Nope, I am grateful. I am excited. I'm going to talk to this one person. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to meet a new person today, right? Because remember, when you focus so much on what's going wrong, when you focus so much on the wrong energy, guys, we talk about that in the presentations all the time. You become what you think about. You are a freaking magnet, molecules and cells and vibrations, and you're sending out the wrong energy. That thing is coming right back to you. Tonight's call is for you to focus on doing what you need to do and what are you expecting, and really gaining an awareness, really gaining a new awareness. I don't really want to do this. No, we're not saying that no more. I am going to do this because this is necessary for the season I am in my life. Because I made choices in the past that I didn't like but were profitable. Yes or no? I've made choices in the past that I didn't feel like doing, but they were profitable. I didn't feel like going to the gym, but it was profitable for me physically, mentally, spiritually. I didn't feel like cooking tonight, but it was profitable for me to save that money and put it in my savings account. Right? You got to think. I didn't feel like this, but it was profitable. That's the question. What don't you feel like doing, but is it profitable? I don't feel like cleaning my room. No, you need to clean up, because that's a habit that you need, because however you operate at home is how you're going to operate everywhere else, right? You got to always operate. I love when I come, I clean my room clean, right? I clean, right? I keep my room clean every time I leave it. My house is clean every time I leave, right? And I come back, it's a feeling that I get. It feels refreshing, right? You guys will be surprised at the things that you do that will keep you just feel so good about yourself all the time. We cannot underestimate good behavior, right? You can't underestimate good behavior. You got to make sure you're speaking correctly, repeating the right things over and over again. But I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. Faith is not activated without action. It's not. You repeat it and you do it. How do you get wisdom? I love this story. You guys may have heard E.T. say it. A young man asked Socrates, how do I get wisdom? Now you'll hear me say a lot, 2 ways to get wisdom that you get and wisdom that you seek. I am very obsessed with wisdom a lot lately. I think I ain't done this much reading since I think I learned how to trade, right? I'm very obsessed with knowledge now. I'm so obsessed with it. Every moment, every waking moment, I'm reading, I'm studying. Sometimes I'm driving, I'm like, put the phone down. I'm looking, I'm hungry for knowledge. I'm hungry because I realize, man, these people are my mentors. I may not know them physically, but listen, when James wrote this book, this book and became my mentor about habits, about systems. His experiences was my shortcut to success, Moody. So the more books that I read, the more knowledge that I seek, the more that I'm compressing my experiences. Don't just read. I'm not even trying to do 10 pages a day no more. I am trying to read as much as I can. As much as I can. I'm trying to get through a book a day. I'm trying to expedite learning. Why? Because I am expecting something to happen in my life. I have an expectancy of something happening in my life. I know what I'm expecting to happen, and I know the knowledge that I need. I know the relationships. I know the environments. I know the proximity that I need. I know the behavior that I need, and I got to seek more of it. I'm like a fiend, right? Like I'm fiending for the knowledge, right? But learning, like Jim Rohn says, I'm not going to regurgitate it the right way, but he basically says it's not enough to learn the knowledge. Learning knowledge is almost a waste. Application of it is rewarding. Don't quote me on it. It's something around that realm. Okay. But Socrates, a young man asked Socrates, how do I gain wisdom? And Socrates took him to the river, stuck his head in the water, stuck his head underwater and held it there till the boy fought back for breathing. He said, until you seek wisdom, just like you was fighting for that air, you won't have change in your life. Right? When you have an intense desire to overcome any block in your life, just as if I held your head underwater and immersed it in the water, you will not have a clear, concise path and understanding of where you want to go. Some of y'all are actually drowning underwater right now, and that's still not enough for you to move. Right? You need more pain. You need to throw your whole body under there and tie a brick to your foot. Right? Then maybe you'll start swimming towards your desires. Right? That's what it's going to take. They always say desire is the starting point of all achievement. Right? You're going to develop a clear, concise decision and layout for where you want to go, the course of your life that you wish to follow, and it'll be victorious, and you will have triumphed. Your thought is immaterial and it is invisible power, but you have a choice to how you want it to impact your life. Your thought is an invisible and immaterial power, but how you allow your thoughts to impact your life is still your conscious choice. Do you want your thoughts to bring about wealth, abundance, love, peace, joy, self-discipline, right? Gentleness. Do you want your thoughts to bring about that? Or do you want your thoughts to bring about lack, hatred, bitterness, poverty, laziness, procrastination? We need to really take an analysis on our thinking on tonight. And sometimes you got to get out of those environments, guys, that are causing you to have poor thinking, right? Just take a drive somewhere, get around some energy. You know, I tell my folks all the time, I said, do y'all know the main reason I want to move out of this beautiful house is because it's too slow out here for me. It's messing with my environment. I love it. This house is huge. It's huge. It's beautiful. Pool in the back, quiet, but it's not enough movement. And I don't want to become this environment. I need to be around entrepreneurs. I need to be around people who got $1 million properties. I need to be around that vibration. All right. And so what I did, I made a decision. I had a vision. God had a better plan in place. Thank you, Jesus. And so guess what? Now it's coming to fruition. I'm on the edge of my seat now because so much has happened for me in my personal life this year. Such an amazing experiences that's happening for me right now. Why? Because I had an expectation. I always keep this in my drawer. I had an expectation of what I wanted to happen in my life. This is my June one. This is old, but I always have a list of what I want to do. And I write it down and I got a new one right here somewhere. This is June. All right. Remember, they always got to be updated. Okay. And then this is, I need to put the dates on this stuff. I'm assuming this is like September or something. Okay. September. All right. But most of it is already checked off. Right. So everything, guys, personal, business, just put it all on there and you start checking stuff off. All right. So I keep this with me and I just fold it up and okay, what else I need to do? What have I not done? Okay. I got to build this one. Okay. I need to plan my trip to Europe because I got to go see Hans Zimmer. All right. My trip to Mykonos. Other stuff is kind of like leisure, but business and personal. Secure a venue for weekly presentations. Still working for some people here in Atlanta, working with some people here. Get credit score over 700. Listen, guess what? The credit was on the June one. The credit was on the February, right? So sometimes you got to roll them over, but at least them rollovers come with updates. You know what I'm saying? So again, what do you expect to happen in your life, ladies and gentlemen? Why can't things change for you? Because your thoughts don't change. And it sounds so cliche. And I know a lot of us are studying, thinking, and belief, but it's really going to boil down to your subconscious mind. Remember, your conscious mind is not controlling your day-to-day activity. So when you don't feel like something, that's actually the habit that you built. I'm going to say that again. When you don't feel like doing something, that's the habit that you built. Your habit is not feeling like doing something. So how do you override that? How do you develop it? You start practicing a new layout until it overrides the I don't feel like it, right? You oppress it against your subconscious mind. You speak it, but you do the behavior. You can't just pray your way, guys. You got to do the action, right? You have to admit what you're lacking. You have to admit what you're not doing. You got to say, listen, look at yourself in the mirror. Listen, I know we've been eating everything. We've been eating all the sandwiches, pizza, ice cream, cakes, everything. Listen, that's got to stop today. You hear me? Talk to yourself in the mirror. We got to stop that. Look at your stomach. Look at your belly. Look at your, listen, high blood pressure, all that stuff we got to stop. Now today is the end of it. We're starting a new habit. If you want to hold yourself more accountable, get your accountability partner. And one of the things that I do is I just publicly say stuff on Facebook and social media. Hey, y'all, I'm about to drop 25 pounds. I just tell everybody, right? Because if I tell Cliff, I could just only, hey, Cliff, man, I'm telling everybody. Social media posts, especially Facebook, that thing be stamped on there. And I can come back and say, hi, remember I told y'all, I put it on Facebook. I'm about to drop 25 pounds in this last quarter. We're already down 4. I put that on Facebook. Sometimes y'all need that public declaration. And if you can't publicly declare it, that means you don't believe it yet. It means you don't believe it yet. You haven't really made a clear decision to really do it, right? Make sure that you admit it, all right? And that you put yourself in a space of really, really having that transition, that change happening in your life, all right? So the biggest thing you guys have to understand is this. Your thoughts can override what you're not doing today. You just have to have the solutions to the problems and reach for counsel if you don't know the solution. Use your network, leverage those around you, all right? Habit is the function of your subconscious mind, okay? You form habits in your subconscious mind by repeating a thought and action over and over again. I'm gonna say it again. Affirmations, autosuggestion is not just speaking. A lot of people miss this part. I'm so happy and grateful now. I'm Chairman Tim. So happy and grateful now. No. You can even listen to the Science of Getting Rich, and he'll tell you not to even say nothing. He said, if you believe it, what you need to say it for? See, affirmations are, this is not me, but in the book of the subconscious mind, he says affirmations are for people who are trying to get to the level of believing or trying to convince themselves to believe that's where they want to go. But when you know, you just know. All right. So understand. Repetition of thoughts and behavior. Your behavior is going to be evidence of what you're thinking anyway. Your behavior is going to be evidence of your thoughts anyway. Some people don't have to say a darn thing and I know what they're thinking. Because guess what? When you're not thinking about something, you're not even doing it. It's so apparent. I hope that made sense to y'all. If I'm not doing it, that clearly means that's not a number one thought. Because my actions follow my thoughts, not the other way around, family. All right? Your actions follow your thoughts. Understand that. All right? You are a creature of habit, and you have the freedom to choose. You can either choose good habits or bad habits. Prayer is a good habit. Focus on the mental picture, the mental attitude, make sure it's backed by faith and backed by behavior. Okay? When your attention wanders, bring it back to the contemplation of your good and your goal. When you start getting in la-la land and your ADD kick in, wake up, focus, get to the goal, get it done. Have you some type of, I don't know, emergency word. Hey, focus, tighten up, okay? Lock in. Make a habit of this. You got to discipline your thoughts. In the book of Outwitting the Devil, he called them drifters. People don't even think about where they're going. People don't have a vision. People don't have a goal. They're called drifters. They just go whichever the wind blows. You got to discipline your mind. You got to discipline your thinking. Your conscious mind is the camera. Your subconscious mind is the plate on which the picture is pressed upon. All right? Picture a happy ending and sustain it with confidence and action. Picture the happy ending and sustain it with confidence and action. Form the new habit. And you must be convinced that it is desirable. When your desire is to give up the bad habit, the greater desire will continue. When the desire is to give up the bad habit, right? Long time ago, I used to smoke a lot of marijuana. Okay. Yeah, I used to smoke a lot of Mary Jane. Now, some people still do it, not a big deal. But if it interrupts your ability to function and get to the goal, it's a bad habit, right? Some people just stay up late and just waste this time on the internet and just browsing just information that don't take them to the next level. If you're not binging on growing, you're binging on disseminating. You're binging on staying in the same place. You're binging on just not going anywhere. Okay. Understand you control your own thoughts. What people say and don't say cannot hurt you. You're giving them permission to impede on your life. All right. Many people remain addicts and stuff like that because they refuse to admit where they are. A lot of people remain financially unhealthy because they refuse to admit where they are. A lot of people stay in the same rank because they refuse to admit and accept where they are, and then just start from ground zero and relaunch themselves. A lot of people are embarrassed about where they are, that they don't take action about who they can become. Stop looking in the past. Don't be so focused on the rearview mirror that you're missing the path of abundance. Do y'all understand that even if my head is facing forward, I can still be thinking backwards? And I can still be seeing the past because the mirror, my thoughts are going to create a reflection of what I want to see. So I can be thinking about the past, even though my head is facing forward. You got to make sure that you pay attention to what it is that you want to think about. Okay. You got to be very conscious of it. So today, what do you expect to happen in your life? And what irresistible habits do you want to happen in your life? We're going to hear it all the time. As a man thinketh, so is he. In his heart, so is he. When fear knocks at the door of your mind, let faith in God in all things open that door. When fear knocks at the door of your mind, let your faith in God in all things good open the door. Right? Somebody catch that later. But I hope y'all got some value on tonight. And find those mental blocks. Remember, the only mental block is your own thinking. Okay? There are no external forces in the world that's holding you up. It's not the person who didn't call you back. It's not the follow-ups. It's not the people coming in and out of your business. It's not the trading account. It's not the academy. It's not your sponsor. It's not your mentor. It's not because your mentor didn't check on you. It's not none of that. It's your own thoughts. What do you expect? Don't expect things for people. Don't expect anything from people. Use the resources, use the tools, and depend on God to guide you every single step of the way. You got to operate. You leverage the help, but don't allow the help to hold you handicapped that you don't take initiative and action for your goals. Right? There are spaces where I can have mentors and coaches and stuff. Listen, they may not be focused. I can't be focused on what they're not focused on. You got to focus on your goal, your why. I just asked y'all what you expect to happen for your life. Stop waiting on people to create the blessing. They don't have that power. Stop giving people more power than they are even given. Right? People don't bless you. God bless you. They're just tools. They're just resources. So where do you want to achieve in your life? Where do you want to go? And do it today. Start making the right habits today, y'all. 5 years is going to be, listen, 5 years is very close. 5 years in this realm is going to fly by. Okay? 5 years. 12 months is going to fly by. In this earthly realm, 12 months will fly by. What will your mindset be? What will you look like? Are you still, where are you living at? What roof are you under? What wealth have you accumulated? What promotion did you knock out? What growth did you go through? Right? What's your credit? All that stuff. 12 months, it's easy to have a lifestyle leap. I did it in 6. I do it in 6 months increments all the time. right? But you got to put in the work, but you got to expect it and you got to believe it. You got to have complete confidence. Action creates confidence. Action, faith is backed by action. Okay. Okay. Faith is backed by action. So when you begin to actually take the action part, you start feeling good. I promise you. You start feeling real good, even little things. So take those, when you have a measuring cup, you have a cup that tells you 1/3 of a cup, 2/3 of a cup. I want you to take 1/4 of your cup, 1/4 of whatever it is that you need to do, and start doing it 1/4 a day. And then add on 2/4, and then half of the workload. And then you can fill up the whole workload. And guess what? Your cup is going to run over, but you got to start somewhere. I pray that this call blessed you guys on tonight. There are no mental blocks. It is only your own thinking. Write down where you want to be in every area of your life. And I say this pretty frequently because we don't do it enough. Write down where you want to be, not just in this company, y'all. Not just in IM. For my guests online, we're partnering with a investment educational platform. Not just in this company. There's so much life beyond this company. Okay? Who are you outside of the company? Your identity shouldn't be I am. I am is just something that you leverage. Okay? I find out what your identity is. Build it up. Become a person of value. Focus on creating memories with your family and love your family and become the best version of yourself in every area of your life. Seek the knowledge and act on it. I love y'all. Have an amazing night. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. And thank y'all so much for tuning in. What's our hashtag tonight? Y'all got any hashtags for me? What's our hashtag? We'll drop it in the chat and social media. What is our takeaway tonight? What's something that we can hashtag on tonight? Anybody got something for me? What's our hashtag tonight? No mental blocks. Good habits or bad habits, it's all on me. Good habits and bad habits are all on me. Ooh, that's it right there, just irresistible habits. Irresistible habits. You got to take what you don't feel like doing and change it into an irresistible habit. Okay? Working out should become irresistible. You gotta love it. No, let's do it. I love y'all. Peace and blessing. Y'all copy and paste irresistible habit because I know some people can't spell irresistible, right? Y'all have a blessed night. See y'all next Tuesday. See y'all in Houston too. Y'all have a good one.